Part 65. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 641. When Lei Huang heard Lum Wan's words, he also recalled that when he was guarding the gate outside the fire falls, the ice halberd often took the lead and disappeared for a while. Feeling is to steal spirit wine, it's not kind. He looked at Lum Wan sadly, and complained extremely aggrieved, you are treated differently. Lum Wan twitched at the corner of his mouth, this arrogant pervert could not be replaced by someone. She didn't know that Lei Huang didn't want to leave at all, and had already decided to rely on them, so the aloof momentum also subsided, gradually revealing his true nature. You have already robbed us of a lot of 7th grade medicinal herbs. Bingji glared at Lei Huang, not afraid of death. Ever since Lei Huang came to Guangling realm, he has often asked his master for the 7th grade medicinal pills, and his actions have touched their interests. I also made a contract with her, and I should have a share of what you have. Lei Huang raised his eyebrows, I do nothing less than you idiot. Lum Wan can refine high-grade medicinal pills and brew high-grade spirit wine. Although many masters are a little awkward, Mo Yan, the former demon king, is completely convinced, and he has nothing to criticize. The most important thing is that he can see that after getting along for a while, Lum Wan regards spiritual pets as equal partners, not just as a fighting tool like many other human monks. After being alone for so long, he began to gradually fall in love with such a lively atmosphere. Bingji froze instantly, who do you call an idiot? Boss Mo called him an idiot and he endured it? After all, Boss Mo was so strong and so pleasing to the eye, what did this thunder beast pull out of? Of course you're an idiot. Lei Huang gave you a stupid look, is there anyone here more stupid than you? Bingji actually felt that he had nothing to say. Did he dare to say that Lum Wan or the other pets were idiots? He dare not. I'm going to fight you one-on-one, but if you lose, Bingji rolled up her sleeves and prepared to fight Lei Huang. Lei Huang glanced at him with contempt, just because of your strength, you want to fight me head-to-head? Save yourself. Then he released a coercion that was only available in the late stage of Dan Yuan, and instantly suppressed the high momentum of the ice halberd. You are the white chicken, my skin is not as white as yours. Bingji stared at him and said, I will beat you up one day. The skin is whiter than yours, it's a natural beauty that's hard to give up, and it's useless for you to be jealous. Lei Huang's handsome face evoked a sinister smile, as for your white chicken, in addition to knowing space secrets, it's really unbearable. Use. Lei Huang, you are a pervert. You have a kind of comparison with our boss Mo. Bingji stretched his neck like a proud rooster. Lei Huang took a sip of his wine glass and took a sip before he said slowly, you already said that he is the boss of Mo, why should I still compete with him? I will be your second brother Lei from now on, remember to respect the old and love the young. He looked around at a few spirit pets and announced arrogantly. Several spirit pets who were still watching the excitement were stunned for a moment, and they agreed in their hearts that Lei Huang was actually thicker than Bingji. You're the second brother of Lei from that sect. Bingji was reluctant to admit that judging from its strength, momentum, and appearance, this stinking thunder beast can really take the second place. The other spiritual pets don't have much opinion, after all, whoever is their second child is the same. After Lei Huang made a contract with Lum Wan, several spiritual pets had a kind of intimacy with him, and he also loved Meow Meow, Xue Xue, and Qi Huang very much. Mo Yan's dark and pale eyes darkened, it seemed that this thunder beast was trying to be Lum Wan's spiritual pet. In comparison, Lei Huang's talent was the best besides him, his bloodline and race were not low, and staying by Lum Wan's side was indeed a help. And he had to admit that with Emperor Lei, it seemed that they were more lively. In the future, he will be your second child. Lei Mo Yan said that he acquiesced to the addition of Lei Huang. Bingji's mouth grew big, and instantly changed from a proud cock to a defeated cock. Boss Mo, can we not want him? Bingji looked at Mo Yan pitifully. He has already made a contract with Lum Wan. This is an indisputable fact. Mo Yan looked at Bingji with a rare gentle gaze and said, "From now on, he is your goal of surpassing. I believe in you." Bingji's eyelids jumped. Don't think he didn't know that Boss Mo was digging a hole for him to jump. Chi Huang flew to Lei Wang's shoulders and said, "I like Lei's second child. The Thunder Emperor often exudes a thunder and lightning attribute, and she likes this aura very much. I also like the second child of Lei." Meow Meow smiled cutely, showing two little tiger teeth. Lei Huang would often take her to secretly hunt game when the master was in retreat, and he also taught her how to stimulate her innate supernatural powers, like a big brother. Not to mention blood and blood, when he was in Loxia Mountain, he was very afraid of Lei Huang, and now Lei Huang takes care of him very much. I agree too. Bingji glared at the little ones, "You little traitors." However, the indulgence in his mouth cannot be ignored. Lum Wan looked at a few spirit pets amusingly. "You were all bought by him during the month or so when I was in seclusion." She can see now that Lei Huang is not only arrogant and perverted, but also very good at bribing people's hearts. Of course, as the time together increased, she liked Lei Huang's temperament quite a bit, and she really wasn't ready to let him go. Where can she find a thug who is so easy to use and impossible to betray? Lei Huang glanced at her in disapproval and said, "What do you mean by being bribed by me? I'm from the bottom of my heart and they are a few little ones." "Okay, you won." Lum Wan gave him a funny look. Then he said with a sincere smile, "Then you are welcome to officially join our big family." "It's not sincere, why should there be a welcome gift?" The blue brocade robe on Lei Wang's body was still loose, and with that lazy and handsome appearance, there was a more romantic and wanton taste. "The welcome gift is all for you to drink." Bingji snorted with a shriveled mouth, but there was a bit of a smile in his eyes. He actually had no hostility towards Lei Huang, and in his heart he had long thought that he was one of them. "Fart, you all drink 7th-grade spirit wine, of course I can't be worse than you as the second child." Then he smiled at Lum Wan, "Remember that you owe me 2 pots of 7th-grade spirit liquor." "You're enough," Lum Wan said with a sullen smile. "This guy really is a pervert with an abnormal brain circuit." Murong Qing and Murong Yu were also affected by this atmosphere. Compared to the days when they were in the family, besides cultivation, it was the family's interests. This kind of life seemed to be very good, and they both gave birth to a kind of expectation. That Murong Yu raised a hand and asked weakly, "Aren't you all Mu Yan's spiritual pets?" Judging from the conversations of several people and the gorgeous transformation of the Red Bee Empress before, Murong Yu felt that the others present except him and the third brother were not real people, but demon cultivators. Bingji gave him a look like, "You're an idiot, why don't you ask?" "Of course we are. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 642. Murong Yu and Murong Qing were really shocked at first, but they were both people who had seen the world. They guessed that Lum Wan's pets must have used some kind of secret technique to cover up their aura. "Murong, did you brew this spirit wine?" Murong Qing felt the mellow aroma of wine in his mouth, and was extremely shocked. He is the young master of the Murong family, and he usually contacts and knows more things than Murong Yu. He knew that such a grade 6 spirit wine would definitely be snatched away, and even the cunning old men in the family would not be spared. Lum Wan nodded, "Well, I'm still a sommelier." "Mu Yan, your talent is really too strong," Murong Yu said with a sigh. It was the first time he had met such a young high-quality alchemist and spirit master. No, he had to add a senior formation mage. "It's all right." Lum Wan smiled and said, "Let's go after eating and drinking enough. She still has things to do." "It is good." Before going out, Mo Yan transformed into a white furry little beast and jumped to his fixed position on Lum Wan's shoulder, lying lazily. Meow Meow turned into a little white snake wrapped around Lum Wan's wrist, and blood turned into a wooden bracelet that was wrapped around her other hand. The Ice Halberd and the Thunder Emperor did not change into their bodies, and they would go to the Mercenary Guild to be enthroned in a while, and they could register as mercenaries as human swordsmen. Seeing Lum Weian's spiritual pets turning into illusions, Murongyu felt that she was going to blind her eyes. At this moment, the two brothers thought in unison, that Lum Weian was still a high-level spirit beast master, and this talent is really abnormal. The group went out of Zizalo and went to the Mercenary Union. Although Mo Yan's amazing beauty did not attract attention, because Lum Weian's appearance was also extremely beautiful and agile, it also attracted the attention of many male swordsmen. She had a calm expression on her face, apparently getting used to this kind of attention. No matter in the spiritual world or now, Lum Weian's appearance is of the highest class, and he has long been accustomed to those complicated eyes. Since there are many spiritual grasses in Qingyuan Forest this season, there are many mercenaries who come to the mission. Lum Weian and his party walked into the Mercenary Union and went directly to the registration desk. "Excuse me, miss, do you want to accept a mission or issue a mission?" When it was Lum Weian's turn and the others, a steward of the Mercenary Union raised his head and asked with a smile. Lum Weian replied, "We want to register a mercenary group. Registering a new mercenary group starts from the first level, and there must be 5 members of the Sword King or above," the steward said with a smile. "Okay." Lum Weian nodded and asked Murong Qing and others to register as mercenaries. "There are just 5 of them here who have met the conditions," and the steward quickly went through the registration procedures for them. A registered first-level mercenary group needs a total of 1,000 low-grade spirit stones, and they can be upgraded as long as they continue to complete the team tasks. Lum Weian handed over 1,000 spirit stones and asked, "What is the upper limit of the first-level mercenary group?" "A first-level mercenary group requires a minimum of 5 people and a maximum of 20 people." The steward took out a jade slip and handed it to Lum Weian and said, "There are mercenary group levels and requirements, as well as you can take a look at the mission points required for promotion." "Thank you." Lum Weian took the jade slip. "By the way, what's the name of your mercenary group?" "The head and deputy head need to rub the soul and spiritual imprint." The steward took out a record crystal stone. "The mercenary group is called Fun Cum." Lum Weian pointed to Murong Qing next to him and said, "I am the head of the group, and he is the deputy head of the group." When they heard her name, everyone twitched the corners of their mouths. "What the hell is rolling over?" Cough cough. Murong Yu couldn't help but say, "Mu Yan, why do you remember this name? Does it mean anything?" "Yes," Lum Weian nodded with a smile, "the money is coming, the beautiful men and women are coming, the spar spirits are coming, and the tasks are coming. The most important thing is that this name is easy to remember and very special. When we resound across the mainland in the future, others will be very impressed." She added another sentence. Several people held their foreheads, and the brain circuits of the super geniuses were different from those of them. But it seems pretty good to hear her say that, everything is rolling in, and the name is really easy to impress. The steward didn't know what to say about the name, but it was good to hear the meaning. She explained. "No mercenary group in the Guangling world has ever given such a wonderful name. Also, is it too early to say that the first-level mercenary group has just started to be registered in the mainland?" "Okay, I'll handle it for Miss now." The steward reconsidered in his heart, but there was no strange expression on his face. He used a special method to imprint the name into the recording crystal stone, looked at Lum Weian and Murong Qing and said, "Please imprint your soul and spirit imprints into the crystal stone together." "It is good." After finishing all the procedures, the steward handed the 20 group badges engraved with the words rolling to Lum Weian, "Miss, this is the group badge of your mercenary group." Lum Weian took the group badge and swiped it and said, "Can the appearance of the group badge be changed?" She remembered that the group emblem of the Gale Wind mercenary group was a galloping wolf king. And the pattern of the group emblem in her hand is just a few small flowers, ugly and not domineering. The group emblem can be changed, but the mercenary group must be at level 3 or above to submit your own designs to the mercenary union, and we will replace it for you, the steward explained. Lum Wan nodded satisfied after hearing that the pattern could be changed. Have you been to Qingyu country recently? The steward took out a booklet and flipped it over and said, there are 3 missions for the first level mercenary group to take over the Qingyu kingdom, and the young lady can choose one. The mercenary trade union stipulates that the first level mercenary group can most accept tasks below the 4th level, and the second level mercenary group can accept the tasks below the 6th level. Therefore, even if the strength of the formed mercenary group is not weak, it will take a certain amount of time to upgrade the level. Lum Wan picked up the booklet and looked at it. The 3 tasks were very simple. One is the second level escort mission, escorting a caravan to the Qingyu kingdom's imperial capital. After completing it, there are 200 mission points and 20,000 low-grade spirit stones as a reward. One is the third level task. Killing 36th order Highland barley rabbits requires complete furs and crystal cores. Completing the task has 300 task points and a reward of 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. There is also a 4th level quest to kill a gang of robbers that has recently appeared on the road from Qingzhou City to Qingyu National Official Road. After completing the quest, there will be 400 points and a reward for spiritual stones according to the head level. Do mission points and mission levels correspond? Lum Wan looked at the steward and asked. Well, the completion of the first level task corresponds to 100 task points, the second level 200 task points, and so on. The steward paused and said, however, after level 5, the reward of mission points is doubled, that is, there are 1000 mission points for completing level 5 missions. Understood, we have accepted all 3 tasks, Lum Wan said. It takes 3000 team quest points to upgrade from a first level mercenary group to a second level mercenary group. Even if all of the 4th level tasks have to be completed, they have to do more than 7 tasks. They have to pick up a few more each time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 643. The steward of the mercenary group had no doubts after hearing Lum Wan said that he would take on 3 tasks. After all, with the strength of 5 people, he was fully capable of performing the tasks of the 5th level mercenary group, let alone the 1st level. Okay. Lum Wan fell into contemplation while looking at the mercenary union stewardship registration task. After a while, she suddenly raised her eyes and looked at the steward. By the way, can you change the name of the mercenary group? The steward was stunned and said, I haven't sent the record crystal stone to the headquarters for the record, and it can be changed now. Then please help me change the name of our mercenary group, Lum Wan said apologetically. She thought about the name of the mercenary group she had chosen, although it had a good meaning and a special meaning, but in the future, if the relatives of the Lu family flew to the Guangling world, it would be difficult to find her. If she used the name of the mercenary group that her second brother used in Tianling continent, people who are close to her should think of this and come to her. The steward asked with a smile, what's the name of the lady going to be changed? Mufen Mercenary Corps. Lum Wan thought for a while and added with a smile, criticism and slogans are still rolling in. Murong Yu and the others couldn't help twitching the corners of their mouths. Lum Wan changed the name of this wonderful team to let them breathe a sigh of relief, but she didn't expect that she would use it as a slogan again. However, it is more appropriate to use rolling as the slogan and iconic criticism of the mercenary group. Okay. I'll change it for Miss. The steward nodded amusingly. After everything was done, Lum Wan and several talents left the mercenary union. As for handing over tasks, it is not limited to stationing at the registered mercenary guild, and any mercenary guild in the human realm can hand in tasks and receive rewards. I have to go to the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Do you want to go with me, or go back to the inn first? Lum Wan asked the Murongqing brothers, looking at them. Murongqing thought about it and asked, "Are you going shopping?" "No, I'm going to do something," Lum Wan replied. "Then let's go back to the inn first," Murongqing said more wisely. Lum Wan told the Murongqing brothers the name of the inn where he stayed before. "You go first, I'll call you back." "It is good." After separating from the Murong brothers, Lum Wan took Lai Huang and Bingji to the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. As soon as she stepped into the Chamber of Commerce, the waiter who had received her before walked over with a smile. "Miss Lu, do you want to buy something today?" Lum Wan asked with a slight smile. "Are you cold-handed?" "Miss Leng hasn't left Qingzhou City yet, so I'll invite her over." The waiter smiled and led the way. "Miss, please wait in the private room with me." Moments after Lum Wan sat down, the door of the private room was pushed open, and a fragrant wind lingered on the tip of her nose. "Which gust of wind brought you here?" Len Yi sat in front of Lum Wan with a smile on his face. Lum Wan hooked her lips and jokingly said, "Of course it's your beauty." Len Yi was stunned, obviously not expecting Lum Wan to tease her like this. She chuckled softly, "You girl is a great beauty, how can I get your eyes?" "Beauty also has its own merits." "Miss Leng, don't be so modest, you are definitely a great beauty," Lum Wan replied with a smile, "and I like great beauty the most." Her words are not false. Len Yi can definitely be ranked in the top 3 among the women she has seen, and it is still the kind of beauty. Len Yi gave her a look of anger and asked with a smile, "Tell me, is there anything wrong with coming to see me today?" Hearing Lum Wan say that she is a great beauty, she is still very happy. Lum Wan took out a palm-sized purple gold token and handed it to her. "Do you know this?" Len Yi took the purple gold token and shrank slightly. "Why do you have the purple gold token from our Chamber of Commerce?" "Only the Hall Master and the 2 Vice Hall Masters of the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce are qualified to give to others. Each person holding a Zijin token is more valuable than their big deacons, and the Chamber of Commerce needs to meet the requirements without harming the interests of the Chamber of Commerce. Any request from Zijin VIP?" She heard that so far, the entire Guangling world has not given more than 20 purple gold tokens, and she never expected that Lum Wan would have one in his hand. "It was given by your Chamber of Commerce," Lum Wan replied with a smile. Len Yi's expression changed and then asked, "Your purple gold token was given by Emperor Ming when you were in Tianling continent?" "Yes," Lum Wan did not deny it. "Is there a problem?" "No problem," Len Yi smiled. "Just kidding, how could there be a problem with the purple gold token that the main body of the Hall Master personally sent out?" "You should know the purpose of the Zijin token, right?" Len Yi thought about it and asked. Lum Wan nodded, "I know some." "Then you came to me today with a Zijin VIP order." Len Yi's attitude was much more polite than before. From Lum Wan's silver VIP order to the golden VIP order, she was a little curious, but now she can solve the puzzle. After all, the owner can change the color and level of the VIP order with the purple gold token. "I want to ask you to help me bring something for Mingxiu," Lum Wan said straight to the point. Len Yi was not surprised that Lum Wan dared to call the name of the Hall Master directly, and even gave the Zijin VIP token, indicating that the relationship between the two must be very good. "Okay, I just want to go back to the mainland of Zhongzhou tomorrow." Her body has always been in retreat and practice in the mainland of Zhongzhou, and her work is performed by 3 avatars. Lum Wan's eyes overflowed with a smile, and Len Yi was able to contact Mingxiu. She handed a golden array ball to Len Yi and said, "You can just give this to him." When Len Yi saw that Lum Wan took out the array ball, he turned around in his heart again. Integrating the array into the array ball and using it was the unique skill of the Hall Master, but he also handed it over to Lum Wan. "Can you take the liberty to ask a question?" Len Yi looked at Lum Wan with a half smile. Lum Wan shrugged and said, If you are asking about the relationship between me and Mingxiu, then sorry, I can't answer your question for the time being. From the current point of view, Len Yi may be trustworthy, but it is only maybe that she does not want to bet on the safety of herself and Mingxiu. Okay, I didn't ask. Lum Weian's answer was as expected by Len Yi. In her heart, she had some guesses about the relationship between Lum Weian and the Hall Master, thinking that if the wife of the Hall Master was Lum Weian, she would be more likable than the right deputy Hall Master. Thanks a lot then, Lum Weian smiled sincerely and handed Len Yi a space ring with a 7th grade spirit wine. Small meaning is no respect. The 7th grade spirit wine in the space ring was originally secretly kept by Mo Yan, but she temporarily picked it up and gave it as a gift. For a person like Len Yi, apart from the few spiritual things that cannot be revealed, the things in her hand should only be able to enter the eyes of the other party. Len Yi lowered her head and laughed, "You're a good girl, and she's very likable." "Thank you for the compliment, I also think I'm very likable." Lum Weian laughed and teased. The smile in Len Yi's eyes was even stronger. This girl was very fond of her. "My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 644. After coming out of the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce, Lum Weian returned to the inn. She did not contact the Murongqing brothers immediately, but went to the yard under the bag to see Wu Nuan. As soon as he stepped into the yard, Lum Weian saw a graceful and refined-looking woman in a light yellow dress walking out of a room. "Weian, you're back." When the woman saw Lum Weian's eyes, she immediately exuded a beam of joy. Lum Weian smiled softly and said, "Nuan, your face is all right." "Well, thanks to Mu Yan's medicine pill." Wu Nuan was very grateful to Lum Weian. "It's nothing." Lum Weian smiled and waved his hand. After thinking about it, he said, "I established a mercenary group and recruited 2 members. I'll take you to meet them." "It is good." Lum Weian took the 2 brothers Wu Nuan and Murongqing to meet and then went back to the room to rest alone. "Are you going to make 7th grade spirit wine?" Lei Huang asked lazily, half lying on a rocking chair in the room, holding a glass of 6th grade spirit wine. Lum Weian rolled his eyes at him, "And this fellow really enjoyed it. I just used the spirit wine that Mo Yan had kept secret, so I want to rebrew it for him, so just wait." In her heart, Mo Yan was of course more important than Emperor Lei. Mo Yan listened to Lum Weian's words, and a smile appeared in his indifferent eyes. Lei Huang snorted, "Eccentric." If it was other spiritual pets, he could still grab it, but he really wasn't sure about Mo Yan. Mo Yan used to be a demon king in the demon realm, and he was also a powerhouse in the fusion realm, so even if he was only in the Danyuan realm now, the aura that he radiated from his body was still very strong. Lum Weian was too lazy to care about Emperor Lei, but took out several materials for brewing 7th grade high-grade spirit wine and began to brew it. A few spirit pets looked at it pitifully, but who did not compete with Mo Yan for the first batch of spirit wine brewed. Because Mo Yan's mouth is very picky, he likes spirit wine far more than medicinal herbs, so Lum Weian used spirit fire in the brewing and did it very carefully. Liquor. Mo Yan was not polite, and as soon as his mind moved, he put away the few pots of top-quality spirit wine and kept them privately. The other spiritual pets were only greedy, but Meow Meow, Swexu and Chawang rolled their eyes, and Boss Mo would definitely let them drink in private. After Lum Weian finished refining the best spirit wine, he began to brew the second wave. After she finished brewing the spirit wine, she refined the 7th grade medicinal pills. The consumption of a few spirit pets was too high, so she basically refined a batch every once in a while. Of course, such frequent refining is not without benefits. Her alchemy and brewing skills have clearly hit the bottleneck of the 7th rank peak. As long as her cultivation base breaks through to the Earth origin realm, she can reach the 8th rank. Zhongzhou Hades Palace. In a low-key and luxurious hall sat a handsome man in red, holding a glass of wine in contemplation. Suddenly, a specially made messenger floated in. After crushing and investigating, his eyes showed surprise. At this time, he didn't know what urgent matter Deacon Len Yi would find him. But he didn't hesitate, he called Long Yao out into his body space and disappeared in the hall. In a hall of the headquarters of the Zhongzhou Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. The door was pushed open, and Ming Xiu walked in. Len Yi, the great deacon of the left department, pays respect to the hall master. Len Yi saw Ming Xiu come in and immediately got up and saluted respectfully. Ming Xiu walked to the top and sat down, and asked indifferently, "Why are you looking for this deity? I wonder if the hall master recognizes a lower-level interface woman named Lum Weian." Len Yi thought about it and asked cautiously. Although this hall master is young and his cultivation base is below her, no one in the entire Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce dares to despise his air. His methods are fierce, and his temper is uncertain. Even the high-level people in the hall are very respectful in front of him. Although Len Yi guessed in his heart that the relationship between Lum Weian and Ming Xiu was not simple, he did not dare to arbitrarily judge. Ming Xiu's originally indifferent face changed, the peace in his eyes was broken for a moment, and his voice was a bit affirmative, and asked, "Have you seen her?" "Yes, I did meet her," Len Yi nodded. Ming Xiu's deep and boundless black eyes were dyed with a layer of brilliance, and an arc was raised on his lips. "Bring what Yanner asked you to give me." Len Yi couldn't help showing a look of shock on his face. The hall master really deserves to be the hall master, but he actually knew that Lum Weian was going to bring him something. Moreover, Len Yi did not ignore the slightly doting tone of the hall master. Ambiguous words like Yanner also sublimated the relationship between the two into a space for people to imagine. Without any hesitation, she immediately took out the golden array ball given by Lum Weian. "This is what Miss Lu asked her subordinates to give to the hall master." As soon as Ming Xiu waved his hand, the golden array ball fell into his hands. There is a layer of streamer lingering on the surface of the array ball, and it is engraved with a spiritual imprint. Only one person in this world who accepts the inheritance can unlock it. If other people want to forcibly open it, the array ball will explode. "Go down first," Ming Xiu instructed Len Yi lightly. "By the way, I don't want the second person to know about this." Len Yi respectfully saluted, "Yes." For the first time, she caught the warm color and tenderness from the expression of the wicked and cold palace master, and she almost did not blink her eyes. It turned out that their hall master was not interested in women, but had never met a woman who was interested. At this time, she dared to conclude that the previous guess in her heart was the truth, that Lum Weian was the woman the palace master liked. There was a very meaningful arc on her lips, and it seemed that the upper management of the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce would be lively in the future. "I don't know if the right deputy hall master will be mad when she finds out. She is really looking forward to it." After Len Yi left, a golden streamer flew from Ming Xiu's forehead and instantly disappeared into the magic sphere. Immediately, the array of magic balls shone brightly, opened automatically, and a message talisman flew out from inside. Ming Xiu crushed it and checked it again, and the curvature of his lips became deeper and deeper. "Long Yao, go and protect Yanner." Long Yao loomed out of the space, and when he saw that the upward curvature of the corner of Ming Xiu's mouth and the soft light couldn't hide his joy, he couldn't help rolling his eyes. "It's not that the master looks so stupid. Have you got news from the mistress?" There was a bit of burning light in his eyes. If he went to protect the hostess, wouldn't he often take the 7th grade medicinal pill and the 7th grade spirit wine? Well, Yanner was teleported to the Qingzhou city on the northern edge of the land before. Now she has taken a few mercenary missions to go to the Qingyu Kingdom Imperial capital, Ming Xiu said with a smile. So far, Long Yao frowned slightly. "It will take more than a month for me to use the power of space to go to the Northland. I wonder if the hostess will still be in Qingyu Kingdom. That woman is usually restless." Because Len Yi's body is at the headquarters of the Zhongzhou Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce, as long as the incarnation is disbanded, he can return to the body, and the space ring can also be brought back, so he can return to Zhongzhou within 5 days to give things to Mingxiu. And even if he travels continuously, it will take at least a month to reach the northern border city. She has a spiritual imprint on this sphere, and you will be able to find her naturally when you arrive at Qingyu Kingdom, Mingxiu said slowly. I'm not by your side, be careful, Long Yao thought for a while and said. Recently, it is not only someone in the royal family of the underworld who is targeting Mingxiu, but there are also some problems within the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Mingxiu can't go to Lumwian in person now, otherwise it will only bring her danger. Well, take this to Yan'er. Mingxiu stuffed a messenger into the golden array ball and handed it to Long Yao. Okay, Long Yao nodded and disappeared into the space as soon as he turned around. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 645. After 5 days of rest, Lumwian and the others received the caravan that needed escort at the designated place, and then rode in the carriage toward the Qingyu Kingdom's imperial capital. Because the northern border is relatively close to a border town in the demon domain, the sky is not calm. There are often flying monsters patrolling, and as long as they find flying instruments or flying mounts, they will attack in groups. Therefore, many swordsmen choose to travel from Qingzhou Fukan to Qingyu Kingdom are cars drawn by the wind and horses. The level of the wind-treading horses cultivated in Guanglingja is much higher than that of Tianling continent, so the speed of pulling carts is not slow. They took on the task to protect a caravan selling spar of refining tools. They wandered around the northern border all the year round to buy spar and then returned to the Qingyu Empire to sell it. A large carriage in the middle was the car of several important leaders of the caravan, and Lumwian and others were also sitting in it. It's really bothering the Mufeng mercenary group this time. A middle-aged man leading the caravan smiled and motioned for the maid to pour tea for a few people. They also did not expect that although the first-level mercenary group took on the mission this time, they were all unpredictable. This news also made everyone in the caravan excited. After all, I heard that there has been a wave of powerful and ferocious robbers on the official road leading to Qingyu recently. With the protection of the Mufeng mercenary group, they should be able to safely return to Qingyu Kingdom. It should be. Lumwian smiled lightly. I wonder if Miss has heard of a group of robbers appearing on the official road. The middle-aged man sighed with a worried face and said, we don't know if we will encounter them. Lumwian looked at him with a half-smiling smile and said, we also took on the task of killing the robbers this time, so don't worry, I can guarantee that you will be absolutely safe in terms of safety. Then many thanks to Mufeng Mercenary Corps. The middle-aged man received Lumwian's promise with a smile on his face, and held his hands in gratitude. He is a sword king, but he can't see the strength of a few people, which means that the people in the Mufeng mercenary group are all swordsmen except the girl in the goose yellow shirt of the Sword Emperor. Moreover, he could see that all the people in the group had extraordinary temperament, and their speech and demeanor were all elegant and noble. Lumwian smiled and nodded and stopped talking. She closed her eyes and quickly entered meditation. The enemies she offended in the Guangling realm are very powerful, and when the mercenaries are doing tasks, they often encounter dangerous things, so she is hurrying to practice cultivation all the time. When she broke through the Danyuan realm, Wushenzhu also successfully entered the stage of lower mortal transformation. She can now hide her cultivation at will, and even close the spiritual veins in her body to become immortal, even if it is a fusion realm powerhouse. Impossible to find. After Wushenzhu arrived in Huafan, she could not only disguise herself but also cover up the breath for others, so the cultivation of their group was adjusted to Sword Master by her. While Lumwian and others were on their way, a young man rushed to the door of the conference hall in a large courtyard in the capital of Biwen Kingdom, the first empire in the center of Bizhu. Stop, is this where you came from? The guard at the door of the conference hall looked at the young man with a cold face. The young man gasped and said, I have something urgent to report to the deputy head. Then you wait. A guard thought about it and went in to report. After a while the guard came out, you go in. The young man didn't say much and walked in immediately. I saw 3 men sitting in the council hall. The man at the top had a pair of tiger eyes with introverted gleams, and his imposing manner was extraordinary and majestic. There were 2 men sitting next to him, one of them looked thinner, but the aura he exuded could not be ignored, and the other had a strong back and a chilling air. My subordinates have seen the head and deputy head. The young man respectfully knelt towards the 3 people above. The person at the top looked indifferent and did not speak. The thin man moved his eyelids and asked, "What are you looking for from me?" Deputy head, young master's jade card is broken. As soon as the young man finished speaking, he felt that the air around him became much colder, and he continued to bite the bullet and continued, "I went down and investigated, and got what I got." As a result, young master's blood evil mercenary group was completely wiped out. Touch, the jade table in front of the thin man was instantly torn apart by him, and he asked in a chilling voice, "Who did it?" This subordinate didn't find out. "I only know that the young commander was killed in Qingyuan forest," the young man replied tremblingly. "When did it happen?" The coldness released by the thin man was even deeper. More than a month ago." Killing intent flashed in the thin man's eyes, and a sharp palm swept over the young man's head. "It took you so long to report my son's death, so what's the use of you?" The young man was hit by the wind before he could dodge. His eyes widened and it seemed like a relief. When they found that young master's jade card was broken, they were ready to be angered, so they moved all the family members away when they checked the news. Sure enough, the ruthless deputy head will kill them indiscriminately. Then he fell to the ground with a breath of resentment. The skinny man's originally calm face now had a bit of a hideous look. Although the youngest son's talent is average and his temperament is violent, he is the only one who has grown up to be a son, so he is usually very spoiled and indulgent, and the rest of the daughters are not even a fart in front of his son. Unexpectedly, someone dared to kill his precious son. Is this provoking their Mad Lion mercenary group? Hearing that the skinny man's son had died unexpectedly, the expressions in the eyes of the head and another deputy head also changed. Although they didn't like that kid's temperament, but if they dared to kill the son of the deputy head of their Mad Lion mercenary group, they would have to pay the price of provocation. Soon, an old man walked in and bowed respectfully to the 3 of them. His cultivation base was the Earth Origin realm. "Go and investigate the cause of my son's death in detail. I will smash the corpse of the person who killed him into tens of thousands of pieces." As ordered. Lum Wen didn't know that there was another person who wanted to smash her body into 10,000 pieces, and she would just laugh it off when she knew it. After all, she was not worried about her debts. At this moment, they had just passed by a grassland, and the ice halberd flew out of the carriage to complete the task of killing the barley beast. The caravan's carriage was still heading forward and did not stop and wait. After a stick of incense, the ice halberd returned to the carriage, and the task was easily completed, which once again made several high-level caravan leaders overjoyed. The stronger the Mufeng mercenary group is, the safer they are. 2 days later, the caravan entered the official road leading to the Qingyu Empire, and several teams were galloping ahead. Boom! When they came to a mountain road, countless boulders suddenly fell from the front and back, blocking the road. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 646. The rolling stones that fell from the 2 sides of the mountain not only blocked Lum Wen's group, but also blocked the team in front. Lum Wen was half leaning in the carriage, and a playful smile appeared on his lips. Originally, she thought that if these thieves didn't show up and knocked on the door in person, who would have thought that they would come to rob so soon? Lum Wan didn't pay much attention to it, but a few spirit pets were eager to move, but they liked to encounter robbery the most. Especially every time he robbed the other party's property, and looked at the other party's annoyed appearance, he felt comfortable and happy. "Miss Lu, we have really encountered that wave of robbers," the middle-aged man in the caravan said, feeling the coercion deliberately released by the outsiders. "This kind of aura is too oppressive, he can't feel the strength of the other party at all, and at least he is a strong swordsman." Several members of the Mufeng mercenary group did not know if they could beat each other. "There's nothing to worry about, just a few bugs." Bingji glanced at the middle-aged man, "You can just sit on the carriage and wait for a while." The opponent had 3 sword masters in the Danyuan realm, and the rest were sword gods and sword saints. They were ranked first among the bandits in the northern border. The middle-aged man and several other caravan executives were only half relieved when they heard Bingji's words. "Thank you. Thank you." Several people hugged their hands. "I will trouble you later." "Get out of here!" a loud shout came from the arrogant mid-air not far away. Lei Huang frowned slightly, and with a cold face, he wanted to go out and kill the other party, but was blocked by Lum Wan reaching out. "Don't kill?" he asked in surprise. Lum Wan smiled and said, "Wait and see what the team ahead of you plans to do." In the team in front, there was a sword master in the middle stage of Danyu Enjing, and 5 sword gods followed. It seemed that the identity of the person sitting in the car should not be simple. "You don't want to wait for them to be robbed, and then we will get the things together when we counter the robbery." Lei Wang's face looked like this. Lum Wan rolled his eyes at him angrily. "I'm not as mean as you think." Lei Huang jokingly looked at her and smiled. "Why do I think what I said is what you think in your heart? I'm too lazy to care about you." Lum Wan paused and said, "Let's exude your realm aura." "What on earth are you trying to do?" Lei Huang was a little puzzled by Lum Wan's approach. "If you really want to wait for the people in front of you to be robbed before going out to clean up the mess and get some more stuff, shouldn't you be pretending to be your grandson now? Although I don't want to despicably loot the property of the team in front, we can't work in vain, right?" Lum Wan said casually. Emperor Lei understood. Emotionally, "You want them to come and deliver things automatically." I muttered in my heart, "You are not despicable, but you are shameless. You are talking too much nonsense now." Lum Wan glanced at him. "It seems that you don't want to drink spirit wine anymore." The spirit wine she brewed this time was chilled in the bell space, but Lei Huang was always thinking about it. Lei Huang choked and said speechlessly, "You're ruthless." So he dissipated the restrained breath from his body, and the momentum of the middle stage of Danyuan was all over the mountains. Lum Wan saw that he actually advanced when she was in retreat, and couldn't help but sigh that this fellow's talent is only a little worse than Mo Yan, but stronger than the other spirit pets. "Mironking, let go of your breath too." Lum Wan looked at Mironking and said. "Okay." Mirongqing also understood Lum Wan's deep meaning, smiled and nodded and released the cultivation of Danyu Enjing. As soon as Mirongqing and Lei Huang released their coercion, the swordsman of the Danyu Enjing on the opposite carriage got off the carriage and walked over. The door of the carriage was pushed open by Lum Wan. "How about we cooperate with a few fellow Daoists?" The person who came was a strong old man in golden clothes. Although his expression was a bit arrogant, he was still polite. Lum Wan gave Lei Huang a blackmailing look. "Come on." Lei Huang twitched the corners of his mouth. This woman is so shameless, she always lets him take the lead when she does bad things for sinners. Just as he was about to say let Mirongqing go up, he saw Lum Wan compare his mouth. "Well done, 2 pots of 7th-grade spirit wine." So he immediately swallowed the shirk he was about to say. Forget it, it was worth 2 pots of 7th-grade spirit wine for such a trivial matter. "Nothing," Lei Huang said aggressively, "your team is so good, cooperation is a drag for us." Lum Wan, Mirongqing, and the others caressed their foreheads speechlessly. "If you extort blackmail, why do you attack people's self-esteem?" The old man in golden clothes didn't expect to get such an answer. He wanted to leave with his sleeves thrown, but when he thought of the little prince in the carriage, he became anxious and could only hold back his breath. This fellow Daoist, now their side is 3 sword masters who have cultivated in the Danyuan realm. It is not easy for you to rush out. If we work together, there is a possibility of victory, the old man in golden clothes said patiently. Lei Huang continued to blow the sky. It's just a few bugs, we can crush them to death with one finger. Bing Ji glared at Lei Huang. Why did you steal my words? Ha. Before the old man in golden clothes could reply, the carriage that Lum Wen and his party were sitting on and the carriage cover of the team in front were lifted. The leader of the robber burst into laughter. Brothers, this little white face can kill us with just one finger, you guys think it's funny? Ha. It's funny, this little white face just doesn't know what to do. Boss, don't you like Long Yang's sip? This little white face has a good face, and his strength is comparable to yours. If you press him under your body, you must have a different taste. A robber leaned in front of the leader and said with a wink and a smile. Yeah. Boss, this little white face looks really good, and he's still so arrogant now, it's absolutely delicious to hold down. Boss. The thieves, you and I are all talking about how their burly leader put Lei Huang under his body to bully him. Lum Wen couldn't help laughing out loud. She also winked at Lei Huang and said, I didn't expect your little white face to have such a potential for abuse. Ha. Bing Ji couldn't help laughing out loud. The white face is a natural beauty that is hard to give up. It really is a little white face, and the leader of the other party took a fancy to it after just one encounter. The others all held back their laughter and turned their attention to Lei Huang, who was still violently dragged just now. Hearing the words of the two of them, and feeling the smiling eyes of others, Lei Huang's already dark face became even darker, and an icy aura emanated from him. Before he could attack, the other party continued to laugh. Hey, the scholar next to Xiaobai is not bad either. I like the way the scholar is crying and begging for mercy the most. A middle-aged man in the Danyuan realm next to the burly big man licked his mouth, stared at Bing Ji and continued, Boss, I want that scholar. Bing Ji's voice that was mocking Lei Huang stopped abruptly. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 647. The other party laughed unscrupulously and discussed how to overwhelm Bing Ji and Lei Huang, regardless of what the parties thought. Lum Wen looked at Lei Huang teasingly and said, You're already perverted enough, but I didn't expect someone more perverted than you. Lei Huang rolled her eyes at her. Can he still speak properly? He exuded a strong killing intent, and was about to go forward to smash the opponent's body into 10,000 pieces, but was stopped by Lum Wen. What are you doing? Lei Huang asked with a cold face. Lum Wen glanced at the old man in golden clothes and said, They are still waiting for your cooperation. Lei Huang really wanted to throw this woman out. At this time, she was still thinking about cheating people. But also, why let him work in vain? Then who, do you want to cooperate with us? Lei Huang looked at the old man in golden clothes. Hearing Lei Huang ask the old man in golden clothes, he immediately nodded, yes. Okay, you give us 2 million mid-grade spirit stones and 10 7th-level spirit grasses, and we can destroy them all without your hands. Lei Huang's tone was arrogant and arrogant. Lum Wen's long eyelashes moved. Lei Huang is even more shameless to extort people. The old man in golden clothes was stunned and obviously did not expect the other party to say such a thing, and he said after a few breaths of silence, Okay, as long as you kill them and we can pass safely, the old man will give you 2 million mid-grade spirit stones and 10 rank 7 plants. Spirit grass. Compared to the life of the little prince, this extraneous thing is nothing. Yes, it's refreshing. Lei Huang nodded with satisfaction, pointed at Lum Wen and said, just leave things to her. After speaking, it turned into a blue light and disappeared on the carriage. Bingji rolled up his sleeves with a look of indignation. The people he met before were all molesting the beautiful master, but he didn't expect to mention him this time. The most important thing is that it is so disgusting and wretched. Those disgusting things actually want him to cry under him. He must turn the other party into a eunuch to let out this breath. I'm going to. The ice halberd turned into a blue light and rushed out. Seeing this, Murongqing looked at Lum Wen and asked, should I help? Lei Huang alone would not be able to cope with the 3 thieves who had cultivated in the Danyuan realm. No, these bedbugs can't be killed, and they don't need to come back. Lum Wen smiled and waved her hands indifferently. The executives of the Chamber of Commerce and the golden-robed old man present were very speechless. Is it really okay to be so arrogant? The other party is not a vegetarian, and the robbers who walk on the tip of the knife all year round are definitely not weak. Murongqing smiled and said, okay, let's take a look first. Having seen Mo Yan easily destroy 2 demon cultivators in the late Danyuan realm, he also had a little more confidence in Lei Huang. Murongyu observed the battle situation not far away with great interest. In the past, he felt that his talent and strength were good, but now he feels that it is far from it. The golden-robed old man focused his attention on the people lying in the carriage while watching the battle in mid-air. He thought in his heart that if he really can't do it, he should take action. He doesn't believe that the arrogant man in Xingyi can fight one-to-many. For a moment, a shrill scream resounded through the sky. What? Everyone saw that the robbers fell from the air one by one and fell to the ground, screaming constantly. Immediately, the 2 figures rushed down, beating the people on the ground violently, and completely turning them into eunuchs. Big brother, spare your life. We dare not. Ah. Brother, please stop fighting, ah. Then there was a begging for mercy. Dignity is nothing to a ruthless robber, so he kept begging for mercy. The leader kept crying while holding his blood-stained lower body, and the scream made his scalp numb. Now he also knew that his side had kicked the steel plate. Although he was turned into an eunuch by a sword chi, he still wanted to live. Big brother, no, don't hit me. His face was so pale that his body was covered in sweat, and he said shiveringly, what do you want? We will give you all, just don't hit again. Big brother, Lei Huang looked at the burly man and asked, didn't you say I'm a little whiteface? How is it possible? The burly man has the heart to cry, they will provoke such a evil star. You are handsome, how is it possible, you are a little whiteface? Oh, is that so? Lei Huang lowered his head and a wicked smile appeared on his handsome face, and the burly man stared at him for a while. Touch, it was just that he was kicked in the face by Lei Huang before he even looked back, and he flew out 100 meters upside down. Bingji was also beating up the most cheerful swordsman just now. I'm weak here? I seem to cry when I'm overwhelmed. Master, Bingji had a great time playing, and we want to go to Meow Meow felt itchy. Shue Shue also immediately got out and said, Master, if I suck their blood, I can break through to the holy rank. Lum Wen looked at the 2 little animals on her wrist dotingly and said, go ahead. As soon as her voice fell, Meow Meow and Swexia flew out. The people in the caravan and the old man in golden clothes were completely stunned. They never imagined that the strength of the 2 would be so powerful, and they only won a 1v1 in a few rounds, and now they have turned the other party into a eunuch and beat him to the death. The eyes of the golden-robed old man swept across the light, and this group of people seemed to be hidden. With the addition of Meow Meow and Shue Shue, the scene was even more uncontrollable. All the robbers were beaten horribly, but no one sympathized. Their wanted order was issued more than 2 months ago, and the number of bad things they have done and the number of people they have killed can't be counted. They are considered unlucky when they encounter Lum Wen and others. The 2 Murongqing brothers twitched their mouths when they saw the tragic situation. Lum Wen's spiritual pets were all just like her, so violent. After Lai Huang and Bingji had beaten enough and vented the anger in their hearts, they threw all the people to blood and blood to eat. Of course, the space ring of a line of thieves was scraped off by the ice halberd. The golden vines pulled all the half-dead thieves into the ground and began to feast. When Lei Huang returned to the carriage, he caught the fear of the old man in the golden clothes towards him. He asked lazily, "Don't you want to pay me?" The golden-clothed old man no longer hesitated, and handed Lum Wan the space ring containing 2 million mid-grade spirit stones and 10 7th-grade spirit grasses. The strength of this group is too strong, he never thought of reneging on the dead. "Fellow Daoist, I have another unkind request." The golden-robed old man restrained his superior arrogance and politely looked at Lei Huang and said. Lei Huang raised his eyebrows and said, "Since it's an unkind request, I don't need to say it." He didn't miss the light in the old man's eyes, maybe he wanted to use them for something. Emperor Lei's refusal was expected by the golden-robed old man, and he immediately added, "The old man can give you a generous reward." Hearing the generous reward, Lum Wan's eyes lit up, who had been casual and lazy. "Tell me." She didn't ignore the black python embroidered on the cuffs of the gold clothes that the old man was wearing. Such signs are usually from the royal family of a certain country. It would be too much to send such a fat sheep to the door without slaughtering. "My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 648. The old man in golden clothes heard that Lum Wan was the first to speak, but the other two people from the Dan Yuan realm did not stop or were unhappy, and even vaguely led her, and understood who could really call the shots here. "I want to ask you to escort us to the imperial capital of Qingyu Kingdom. As long as they safely reach the imperial capital of Qingyu Kingdom, they can use the teleportation array to return to Biwen Kingdom. You are being hunted down." Lum Wan's eyes were half drooping, but she couldn't see her expression, but her tone was very certain. Yes, the golden-robed old man's pupils shrank. He pondered for a moment and asked, "I don't know how the young lady knew. The woman in front of her is alluring and stunning, but what makes her eyes shine even more is her temperament, which is indifferent and arrogant, not abrupt but harmonious." "Your master is seriously injured." Lum Wan raised her head and said. The old man in golden clothes replied after a while, "Yes, we were hunted down, so I asked you to escort us." "How is the reward calculated?" Lum Wan asked lightly. "How about 3 million mid-grade spirit stones and 20 rank 7 spirit grasses?" The golden-robed old man paused and said, "The killers who are chasing us have been blocked by our people for the most part, and they may not meet them halfway. But even if the journey is safe, we will pay the reward." Lum Wan swept the young man who was in a semi-conscious state on the carriage in front of him, turned his mind, and asked the old man in golden clothes, "Are you trying to hurry to heal him?" "Yes, our pharmacist was killed by those killers in the middle." The old man in golden clothes sighed. "What if I said I could heal your master's injury right now?" Lum Wan smiled with confidence. There was an inexplicable light in the eyes of the old man in golden clothes. He hugged Lum Wan and said, "Please, miss, help my master. Even if we can only stabilize the injury, we will definitely be rewarded. I can cure him, but I need 10 8-pole spirit grasses as a reward." Lum Wan said lightly. She is about to break through to the 8th grade alchemy master, and the demand for 8th grade spirit grass will also increase her schedule. "Okay," the old man in golden clothes didn't hesitate, 10 8th grade spirit grasses are nothing compared to the master's life, but we don't have the 8-pole spirit grass on our bodies now. If the young lady can heal my master, when I reach the Qingyu Empire, I will definitely find it for the young lady." "Okay," Lum Wan still believed the old man's words. She turned around and landed in the other party's spacious, low-key, and luxurious carriage, with a young man covered in blood lying on it. There was also a lot of blood dripping from the carriage, which was from the man. At this time, his face was pale, even a little dark blue, and the cuts on his body had been bandaged, but it was of no use at all, and the blood could not be stopped. When the old man in golden clothes saw Lum Wan getting into their carriage, he immediately followed. The Murongqing brothers and Lei Huang followed closely behind, and they all wanted to see how Lum Wan healed. Lum Wan frowned when she saw the young man's injury was so serious. He was injured by a special sword skill, and the wound cannot heal naturally. When you return to the Qingyu Empire, his blood will bleed. For the most part, it is still in doubt whether we can live or not. The old man in golden clothes said with a bitter face, our pharmacist was killed, and there are no high-grade pharmacists around. The spirit herbs and medicinal herbs on his body can't stop the blood from the wound, so he thought of going to Qingyu country for treatment or teleportation. Biwen Kingdom. Lum Wan's mind moved, and a palm-sized 7-colored glazed tripod fell into her hands. She took out several kinds of spirit herbs from the bell space and threw them into the furnace to refine them. From time to time, she also explained to Wu Nuan the functions, effects, and dosage of the spirit herbs. After a while, a sweet medicinal fragrance came from the tripod. She opened the cauldron and took out some yellow medicinal powder and sprinkled it on the young man's wound. What shocked the old man in golden clothes and his group was that the powder melted into the wound immediately after being sprinkled on it, and the blood that had been flowing was actually stopped. Lum Wan ignored their shock, and took out a lot of spirit grass and threw it into the pill furnace to start refining, and explained to Wu Nuan. Half an hour later, a pale pink medicinal pill flew out of the pill cauldron and landed in her palm. The old man in golden clothes and the two brothers Murongqing were shocked again when they watched her flowing alchemy. Is this a 7th grade high-grade medicinal pill? Although the golden-robed old man didn't know what kind of medicinal pill Lum Wan refined, he could judge the medicinal pill's grade from its color and fragrance. Lum Wan glanced at him lightly and said, well, now he must take the 7th grade healing medicine that can repair the inner abdomen, otherwise, even if the bleeding stops and he comes back, he will only become a useless person in the future. After she finished speaking, she fed the medicine pill into the mouth of the young man, and he swallowed it in cooperation. Lum Wan knew that the young man was only in a semi-conscious state, so he knew what was happening around him. You change his clothes. Lum Wan looked at the blood-stained clothes of the young man with some disgust. The old man in golden clothes was stunned and immediately said, okay. Lum Wan and Wu Nuan turned their backs, and the old man in golden clothes quickly changed into a clean robe for the man, and washed his face and hands with water. He's seriously injured, let's get some treatment while we're on the road, Lum Wan said after the old man in golden clothes cleaned up the man. It is good. The old man in golden clothes pressed the hood of the carriage again, and the ice halberd waved his wings to crush all the boulders in front of them. The two teams merged and rushed towards Qingyu Kingdom. Lum Wan stayed on the carriage of the golden-clothed old man, and the others naturally did not return to the caravan's carriage. She never shy away from treating illnesses, so in front of everyone, she took out a gold needle and covered it with green spiritual power, and stabbed it at the young man. The green spiritual power flows into the man's body little by little through the golden needles, repairing and nourishing his meridians and internal organs. When Lum Wan closed the needle, the man's pale face gradually became normal. After about half an hour, the man who was in a coma slowly opened his eyes. As soon as he opened his eyes, he met the woman who was giving him the second golden acupuncture treatment. The sun shrouded the woman through the car window, and her whole person exuded a reassuring and quiet warmth. Her delicate and splendid face has a focused look, and every needle rise and fall is pleasing to the eye, as if she is not treating a disease, but doing an elegant performance. Seeing the man transforming slowly, Lum Wan pulled out the last few golden needles on his body, smiled and said, "You are awake." The sun shone softly on her smiling face, reflecting the unusual warmth of her beautiful eyes. The man looked at her with a bit of fascination, and after a while, he restrained the look in his eyes and nodded slightly. "Well. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Land by Gezi. Chapter 649. Seeing the young man wake up, the golden-robed old man had a happy expression on his face. Master, how are you feeling? After Lum Wan's treatment, the young man's pale face turned a little bloody, and he slowly said, "It's fine." "That's great," the golden-robed old man was very excited. "It was this young lady who treated me." The man turned his gaze to Lum Wan, restraining the aura of anger and power in his eyes. Lum Wan nodded and said with a smile, "Well, but it's not for saving you in vain. Your subordinates and I have already negotiated the remuneration." "Thank you anyway." The man's voice was as deep as the sea, with a sense of stability. He was very aware of his injuries. Not only was the blood flow more than that simple, but his internal organs were also severely injured. Even if he returned to Bwin Kingdom to find the 8th rank alchemist to worship him, he would only be able to save his life. And the young woman in front of him not only stopped his bleeding, but after taking the medicinal pills she refined and treating with gold needles, the wounds in his inner abdomen miraculously healed. He believes that as long as he rests for a period of time, he can fully recover, and even his cultivation will not have any effect. Lum Wan took out another essence nourishing pill and handed it to the man. "Taking this pill will help you restore your cultivation." "Thank you." The man's body was already able to move, and he reached out and took the medicine pill without hesitation. Feeling a cool medicinal pill dissolve, the burning pain in his body also disappeared. Yuan Li began to operate. He immediately closed his eyes and quickly repaired the injury. Lum Wan did not disturb his recovery. The continuous refining of the 7th grade medicinal powder and medicinal pills, coupled with the use of a lot of green spiritual power, also made her a little tired. So he leaned against the wall of the carriage and closed his eyes. The two Murongqing brothers were shocked when they saw Lum Wan resuscitating the man who seemed to be not far from death, and the hope was also infinitely expanded. It turned out that her medical skills had reached such an extraordinary level. A day later, the young man's complexion turned a lot more rosy, and the medicinal pills in his body that had passed through Lum Wan had been repaired a lot. "My name is Fei Yanchen." As soon as he opened his eyes, he looked at Lum Wan and said. Lum Wan looked up at him, thought about it and said, "Lum Wan." When Murongqing heard Fei Yanchen say his name, there was a strange look in his eyes, but he quickly covered it up. Fei was the royal surname of the Bwin Kingdom's royal family, and there was only one person who could be called Chen. He had already guessed Fei Yanchen's identity. "Murongqing. Murong Yu." The two Murong brothers also introduced themselves, while Lei Huang and Bingji leaned against each other lazily and did not speak. Young master of the Murong family, Fei Yanchen looked at Murongqing with deep meaning. He planned to reveal his real name and didn't plan to hide his identity, and he obviously found that Lum Wan and the other two men didn't show the slightest difference to his name. First, they didn't care, and second, they didn't learn from the name at all. "Guess your identity." Murongqing's eyes just now showed that he already knew his identity, so he didn't need to go around in circles. "I didn't expect to meet King Jin of Bwin Kingdom here." Disrespectful, Murongqing smiled playfully. Fei Yanchen laughed softly. "I didn't expect to meet young Master Murong here." Lum Wan saw that although the two did not know each other, but clearly knew each other, she was actually a little curious about Fei Yanchen's true identity. After all, she was her big creditor. "What is the origin of this Fei Yanchen?" Lum Wan transmitted a voice to Murongqing. The expression on Murongqing's face did not change, but he thought in his heart that it was indeed the case. Lum Wan seemed to have no understanding of Bizhu's forces at all. Fei Yanchen is the 8th prince of the most powerful superpower in the center of Bizhu, and the youngest son of Emperor Bwin. Murongqing paused and said, "However, there has been a recent civil strife in Bwin Kingdom. His father, the emperor, died, and his direct elder brother inherited the throne. However, several princes colluded in private to prepare to seize the throne. Then how could he be here and assassinated? Lu Muan asked. He had been traveling abroad before. Emperor Biwen died too suddenly. He should have been ambushed by other princes when he came back from outside. Murongking explained. How do you know so well about the secrets of the royal family of Biwen Kingdom? Lu Muan continued to ask with a chuckle. Our Murong family is one of the 8 largest families in Bizhu. It can be regarded as tied with the Biwen royal family, but it is not as profound as theirs. Murongking continued, we are jealous of each other about the royal family, so if there is any trouble with the other party, we will all get the news, not to mention the Biwen Kingdom's troubles this time. So that's the case. Is Fei Yanshan's brother at a disadvantage now? Lu Muan was more interested in this. She remembered that the headquarters of the Mad Lion mercenary group, where the young master of the Blood Evil mercenary group that she killed before was located, in the imperial capital of Biwen Kingdom. If the situation is good, she can help Fei Yanshan. No, his brother holds 2/3 of the power of Biwen Kingdom, but only half of it is in Fei Yanshan's hands, so those people will send someone to assassinate him. Murongqing replied. How is the relationship between the two brothers? Lu Muan continued to ask. Okay, Fei Yanshan once saved the current Emperor Biwen with his life. The two are brothers who can support each other in life and death. A layer of light flashed in Lu Muan's eyes. By the way, do you know the Wild Lion mercenary group? Murongqing was stunned for a moment, obviously not expecting Lu Muan's topic to change so quickly. I know, they are an 8th level mercenary group, and their power in Bizhu is also huge. Murongqing recalled that Lu Muan killed the son of a deputy head of the Mad Lion mercenary group in Qingyuan Forest, and thoughtfully added, the Mad Lion mercenary group and Fei Yanshan's half-eldest brother privately the relationship is very good, and this coup may also have their shadow. It turned out to be from the political enemy faction. That's good, Lu Muan smiled. The enemy of the enemy is a friend. Since she has met Fei Yanshan, she can't miss this chance to make friends. She must be prepared to deal with all the revenge by the Mad Lion mercenary group. It would be beneficial for you to unite with the Mad Lion mercenary, and it would be beneficial for you to befriend Fei Yanshan. His status in Biwen Kingdom is now the most honorable prince besides the Emperor. Murongqing said with a change of mind. If the eldest prince supported by the Mad Lion mercenary group ascended the throne, it would be very unfavorable to Lu Muan and the others. After all, she would be found out one day, and they are now often appearing as mercenaries. Although their Murong family is a super family in the north, they have never participated in the disputes between the Biwen royal family. This was an agreement made thousands of years ago. Even if he is the young master of the Murong family, he can't change or the influence of the Li family's family. However, Fei Yanshan was completely different. He could justifiably intervene in the affairs of the royal family. If his brother's throne was stabilized, it would be a matter of course to suppress the Mad Lion mercenary group. Well, then let's help Fei Yanshan, Lu Muan whispered. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 650. On this day, the people in the carriage closed their eyes and cultivated. Lu Muan suddenly opened his eyes and looked out of the carriage from a distance and said, there is a wave of murderous people approaching. Fei Yanshan and the others also noticed the murderous aura, and frowned in unison. They really looked down on me, and this time they actually dispatched 10 killers from the Danyuan realm. Fei Yanshan's lips curled into a sarcastic arc. Murongqing was silent and then asked, these killers are still so far away and have released such a powerful murderous aura. Shouldn't they be from the Biwen royal family? He had seen the dark guard of the Biwen royal family before, but he did not have such a strong murderous aura. Instead, these people are more like trained professional killers. They are the killers that my good eldest brother invited to the dark market. I have encountered 4 or 5 waves of such killers, and he paid a very high price for killing me this time. Fei Yanshan's expression did not change, and he was calm and composed. Most of his men have been damaged by the endless dark market killers, especially the strength of the first wave is stronger than the first wave. And he also sent the several secret guards from the Earth Origin and Tian Origin realm sent to him by the father to the Imperial capital to protect the third brother, otherwise how could he be so embarrassed and almost killed? Lum Wan asked in surprise, dark market? Can the dark market in the human domain be able to issue tasks as long as you have money? Well, the dark market is an underground dark organization in the entire Guangling world. As long as there is money, basically all employers will take over the tasks. Murongking continued, except for the dark market trading market, the most popular thing in the dark market is the business of killers. Do you know who the dark master of the dark market is? Lum Wan asked after thinking for a while. The dark market in the Tianling continent has been controlled by the demons for a long time, and I don't know how much the dark market demons in the Guangling realm have penetrated. I don't know. Murongqing shook his head with a wry smile. As we still have no access to the top secrets of the mainland. The dark master of the dark market in the human realm is definitely a mysterious and powerful figure, and their ancestors of the Murong family may not have had the chance to see or understand. Fei Yanjin replied, I heard that there are a total of 4 dark masters in the dark market, who are in charge of the dark market organizations in the 4 major domains. As for the Dark Emperor behind them, it is unknown who they are. Lum Wan nodded, the Emperor and is the master of the 4 regions dark market, it must be mysterious and unpredictable. The golden-clothed old man couldn't help but feel anxious when he saw that the 3 of them were still chatting calmly. This time, there were 10 strong men in the middle and late stages of the Danyuan realm. Can he, Murongqing and Lei Huang be able to deal with them? The most important thing is that these killers are elites specially cultivated by the dark market, and they are not comparable to the group of robber leaders. Anyone who comes out at will is very powerful. Master, Miss Lu, young Master Murong, they will be here soon. How do we deal with the enemy? The old man in golden clothes couldn't help but ask. Lum Wan shrugged indifferently and said, you don't need to deal with the enemy, just kill him. I don't know if it's because she was often besieged by killers in the dark market when she was in Tianling continent, or because the dark market in Tianling continent was completely controlled by the demons, so she was somewhat resistant and disgusted with the dark market. The golden-robed old man twitched the corners of his mouth. Can he win if he kills him directly? Miss Lu's tone is really too loud. Feeling those murderous auras approaching, Lum Wan stood up and looked at Murongqing and the old man in golden clothes and said, you don't have to do it first, I will move my muscles and bones. The killers in the dark market are very rich, especially the strong ones in the Danyuan realm should be richer, and don't give up the wealth that comes to your door. Although Fei Yanjin has recovered a lot, it is not suitable for him to do anything. Murongqing smiled helplessly and said, the other party has 10 assassins from the Danyuan realm, you and Lei Huang should be careful. Although he has not been with Lum Wan for a long time, he knows that she has always been decisive in her actions, and daring to say this means that she is sure of winning. Although he didn't really believe that Lum Wan and Lei Huang could kill all of the others' 10 killers. The old man in golden clothes simply wondered if his ears had misheard, but Lum Wan actually told him and Murongqing not to do anything, she wanted to move her muscles. Did she hide her cultivation? That's right, how could a 7th rank high-level alchemist just be Jianzun's cultivation base? Fei Yanjin had a meaningful smile in his eyes, and he also wanted to see what other surprises Lum Wan could give him. Be careful. In any case, Lum Wan and the others were involved because of him. Even though he promised to pay them, he didn't want them to get hurt or have an accident. By the way, Lei Huang and I killed them. Their space ring should be ours, right? Lum Wan was ready to say hello in advance. Murongqing and the others couldn't help but stroke their foreheads. No wonder she was so positive this time, and her feelings were directed at the other party's space ring. It must be yours. Murongqing nodded, their brothers would not rob Lum Wan. Are you short of money? Fei Yanchen asked. Lum Wen nodded madly, of course. I lack everything. The smile in Fei Yanchen's eyes was even stronger. This woman was so special and interesting. Who would have ever met a woman who would show such a love of money? Such a hearty temperament is very pleasing. I don't think you are short of money, Fei Yanchen said. Lum Wen could easily refine 7-grade high-level medicinal pills, and he had only taken 2 pills before. Alchemy masters are relatively wealthy professions, especially high-level alchemy masters. She loves money but is not stingy. This is Lum Wen's first impression of him. Why don't I lack it anymore? Lum Wen said angrily. My spiritual pet consumes at least 6 7th-grade medicinal herbs and tens of thousands of middle-grade spirit stones every day. Can I be poor? Fei Yanchen was stunned, and couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. Is there such a person who raises spiritual pets? It was the first time he had heard of who would raise a spiritual pet with such a prodigal family, and Lum Wen was really the first. Okay, let's not talk, they are here. Lum Wen jumped out of the carriage when she noticed a piercing sword chi from above her head. Lei Huang followed him out speechless. Why did he suffer so hard? Their space ring is filled with your rations, Lei Huang, don't cheat and play tricks. As soon as Lei Huang stepped out of the carriage, he heard Lum Wen's voice transmission and was almost stood still. This woman is really ruthless, and they are really fighting for the rations. After absorbing the essence and blood of the robbers in the Danyuan realm last time, with the help of Mo Yan's guidance, Xue Xue successfully condensed the demon plant, which was promoted to the holy rank, and the strength increased greatly. This time, the 10 dark market killers in the middle and late stages of Danyuan realm were sent to the door, and his cultivation base was completely consolidated. She sometimes has to sigh that although the dark market is very annoying, but for her, it can get rich benefits every time. She suddenly decided to like the dark market, let the killers come more violently. As soon as Lum Wen got out of the carriage, his cultivation in the middle stage of Danyuanjing was immediately released, and the others in the carriage also got off. Fei Yanchen was a little worried in his heart, and said to the old man in golden clothes, if they lose to you for a while, take action immediately. Yes, master.